How to preserve or not preserve Mirror Pond is a hot topic in our community. Here's how your voice can be heard in the process.
Well, the problem with Mirror Pond is the buildup of silt in the slow water areas. And it's been a problem probably almost as long as Mirror Pond has been in existence, specifically noticed at the last dredging in 1984, and it's built up since then.
Well, the Mirror Pond Management Board was appointed by the Bend City Council to advise them on community outreach and options for studying the Mirror Pond solution to the sedimentation. The Mirror Pond Steering Committee is a group that was formed on its own initiative, comprising of William Smith Properties, Pacific Power, Bend 2030, Bend Park and Rec District, and the City of Bend to help manage whatever project we undertook to cure the Mirror Pond sedimentation problem.
The love for Mirror Pond goes beyond the 17 people on the management board. They're representative of much larger groups. It's one of the things we're doing now at the beginning of this project is to try and just really find out what people love about Mirror Pond and get that broader vision of what it is that's so special here.
I think very simply the problem with Mirror Pond is that it has filled up with sediment, and that happens naturally in a river when there's a dam in place, but we also believe that some of the upstream factors like the regulation of water out of Wickiup Reservoir have increased the sediment load that's dropped into Mirror Pond.
And that has caused concern primarily from adjacent property owners, but also from others in the community who fear that Mirror Pond will be lost to emergent vegetation, increasing siltation, and it will no longer be the icon for Bend that it's been for all these many years.
The Mirror Pond Dam was built in 1910, so it's over 100 years old, and there's been a slow accumulation of sediment that entire time. It was dredged in the mid-80s, but that accumulation has continued, and here we are today where the pond is relatively full of sediment.
So at this point in the process, we're really interested in determining what the range of public values is for Mirror Pond. And based on that range of values, crafting a set of alternative outcomes, desired future conditions, and having the public give us an idea of what the preferred desired outcome is.
We've started a process now, the Steering Committee and Management Board, to engage the public in a dialogue about what's special about Mirror Pond. To do that, we created a website, mirrorpondbend.com, and on that website there is a questionnaire, a link to a questionnaire that is intended to elicit the values or find out what it is that people value about Mirror Pond, what it is they mean when they say picturesque views. That's the first step in the process. We will then look at those results and in the second phase of this project, create a series of alternative pictures of what can or might happen based upon what the community has told us through this questionnaire.
I think we have a lot of options, and if you look at some of the general categories, you have remove the dam on one end, you have do nothing on the other end, and somewhere in the middle you have some combination of dredging some material, perhaps restoring some habitat in some areas, and some integrated approach that balances a whole suite of options. And so the art in this project, in my opinion, is finding that balance point where we maintain some of those core values, but we also maintain the health of the river, provide some wildlife habitat, fit with that historic, iconic status of Mirror Pond, work with the adjacent landowners, you name it.
Well, in a situation where we can have polar opposite value spectrums or value points, what we will likely end up with is something in the middle. It is most likely that we will end up with something that is a combination of some restoration, some modification of the existing dam structure, and some removal of silt.
This is an opportunity to really talk about where we're taking the pond in the future. And this is one of those times. If you're interested, if you have an opinion, bring it forward, get involved in the dialogue, because this is really the only way to do it.
Stay engaged, come to the public meetings that are advertised on the website, and really just stay engaged. The future of Mirror Pond depends upon your involvement.
The Mirror Pond process at this point is an iterative process, and what we're hoping to do is engage the public at one level to get some foundational information about values, build on that, and present some models for what future conditions could look like.
It's really important that we understand what the community as a whole wants for Mirror Pond. That's essential. I don't think any one government agency or private property owner can presume that they know what's best for Mirror Pond. It's got to come from the community.